Hello, Fordham basketball fans tuning in on Spreaker. I'm Gigi Speer, your WFUV beat reporter for the Brooklyn Nets, along with Jack Roche. I've had the pleasure of attending games at Barclays Center, and at about the halfway mark in the season and a month away from the All-Star break, I have your Nets recap. After riding in the number one spot for weeks, Brooklyn is currently second in the Eastern Conference behind the Chicago Bulls, currently with a 25-14 overall record and 11-10 at home. Heading into their game against the Spurs on Sunday, January 9th, the Nets had a 5-game home losing streak and hadn't won one in the Clays since mid-December. It was kind of hard to watch. I had noticed a lack of both energy and efficiency from the squad in their loss to the Bucks just days before this win against the Spurs. They dropped the game to the reigning champs at home 121-109 and got out-rebounded by almost double of the boards Milwaukee grabbed. In the post-game press conference, Nash noticed that the team was still recovering from the many bouts of health and safety protocols that ran through the roster due to COVID.
Coach, what intangibles that don't necessarily show up on a stat sheet have been absent lately with this group?
Yeah, you name it. We've really struggled since returning from all the COVID interruptions. We were having a very good year. We actually played well through the COVID situation, but since we've gotten everyone back more or less, we just haven't had the confidence, the spirit, the joy, and you can see it. There's too many lapses and not enough pace and enthusiasm, and we got to find that. We got to get that back after this interruption and build again a group that goes out there and is difficult to play against. It's just fundamental stuff that has taken a dip since we've all got back together, and so it's we can see it clearly. We have to work at it now. We have to take it to heart, and we have to rebuild.
At one point, the team had 10 players enter protocols at a time and had just the bare minimum to play the game. I want to talk about KD for a little bit. Leading the team and the league in points per game, Kevin Durant is averaging 29.8 points on 37.4 minutes and is often greeted with MVP chants in Barclays Center. In their 108-114 loss to Portland on Monday, he led the way with 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. In their overtime win against the Spurs just a day before that, KD led the way again with 28, 4, and 6. The Spurs are 10th in the West, yet KD noted the importance of continuing to take games against any opponent, no matter record or standing, seriously.
No, you got to respect the Spurs. That's what they do. They don't stop playing. Some of these teams, if it was another team the way we was playing, we probably would have blew them out. But that's a championship organization. I think, I know they don't got big names and they haven't been at that level the last couple of years, but that's just the culture they have over there. And that's what Pop created. So no matter if they down 20, they almost play better when they down. You know what I'm saying? So they was able to get back into the game, get some confidence from knocking down threes, and a three-pointer keep you in a game, so when you're making a few of those, then you're just getting confidence. So I don't expect to just, walk in and see who on the roster and all right, we're supposed to beat them by 40. We know it's going to be a tougher game sometimes, a trap game sometimes, noon game. So it was a challenge for us, a different challenges each game. So, we figure out what they are and fight through them and get better. Well, you got to think about it. A lot of teams come in here with no pressure to win. So those shots don't have pressure sometimes when they make it. And then, you make 2 or 3 early on, you get confidence, you build confidence. So I think each game takes on a life of its own. And from the outside looking in, it's easy to say, well, look at the paper. Y'all got more talent. Y'all should just beat this team. But it's context to a lot of different things in life, and that's one of them. A game has context, and there's a flow and a rhythm to each game. And I know we're in the analytics era where you just look at the box score and come up with a solution to what's going on, but it's flow to the game, and I think each game is different, and you got to respect these teams that come in, and we're just gonna keep grinding. I feel like a lot of these teams just got hot on us, made shots, you know what I'm saying, and that's the difference in this league.
With the win, the squad snapped their 5-game home losing streak. Now, to turn to games not in Brooklyn, we must talk about Kyrie. His anti-vax saga started heading into the season, and refusing to get vaccinated, fans thought that they would be able to see him play on road games, but the Nets organization did not agree until the most recent Omicron outbreak. In late December, Nets GM Sean Marks said Kyrie could play games on the road, although he'll not be able to play games at home or in Toronto due to the two cities' strict regulations for COVID. The team fully supported this decision, excited to have him back, and not complaining that it would cause chaos, and instead all about the revolutionary decision. In his season debut against the Pacers, Kyrie notched 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in the 129-121 victory. Last season, playing 54 games for the Nets, Kyrie averaged 26.9 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Definitely a better team, way better team, and it's definitely going to give us a lift. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we got a couple games on the road and opportunity for us to build our chemistry. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
With Kyrie back, the big three is finally together, at least on the road. And to complete the trifecta, we have to mention the one and only James Harden. He just notched his 22nd double-double of the season, tied for 5th with Clint Capella and Giannis. He is averaging an incredible 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 9.7 assists this season. In addition to the juggernaut that is the KD, Kyrie, Harden Big Three, the Nets also have promising young talent in Nick Claxton and David Duke Jr. that has been able to shine in the absence of Kyrie at home and Joe Harris in general. Claxton, the Nets' tallest player, is an exciting dunking highlight reel that is picking up many double-doubles along the way. And Duke is averaging 6 points in his first NBA season and has worked his way into the starting rotation at home.
Our rookies have played really well this year. They've played hard. They have great energy, great spirit. They've deserved a look. It's hard to give them all a look at the same time. So David's had an opportunity here.
Three-point weapon Joe Harris has been out since his ankle surgery in the final days of November. And Nash just announced that he will be out more than his expected 4 to 8 week recovery. With Harris out, Brooklyn has had to rely more heavily on Patty Mills, who has been in a shooting slump despite getting solid looks. With him out, the squad's field goal percentage has dipped from .563 to .523. If you're in the mood for more basketball after this Fordham George Mason game, be sure to check out the battle between the number 2 and number 1 teams in the East, as the Nets travel to Chicago to take on the Bulls at 10 p.m. And if that's not enough for you, follow along of my coverage of the Nets-Pelicans game the night of Saturday, January 15th at Gigi_Speer on Twitter and at WFUV Sports on Twitter. I'm Gigi Speer, and this has been your Brooklyn Nets update. Thank you for following along, and go Rams!